Hello, dear friends. Opinion piece. Heartbroken for Afghanistan. New message from Matthew by Suzanne Ward. The Creator has given His best for these times. The power of light will heal the wounds, but it will be a long time coming. Transition for the new financial system will be as smooth as possible. The purpose is to put in place a fair system, not to make millionaires out of everyone. There is likely to be a delay in processing the system. The dark side invented usurious credit cards and cryptocurrencies. Earth stuck in third dimension because of human cruelty. The war for ascension is a fight for the evolution of our consciousness. We do not fight against flesh and blood, but against the hosts of darkness. I repeat it. We do not fight against flesh and blood, but against the host of darkness. Let's start. The eyes of the world are on the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. The hearts of the whole world are with the people of that country. In fact, the situation could have been handled very differently, with wisdom, foresight, and compassion. What is happening is a great sadness for us because the people of that country face appalling living conditions under severe control and for some execution. It is not about completing chosen karmic lessons. For some individuals, flexibility in soul contracts can be applied, but most are and will be enduring experiences they didn't choose, and none of them will know until they are in nirvana that this gave them a leap forward in soul evolution. It is true that the corrupt government had to be removed and the occupying troops withdrawn so that Afghans can set a course toward stability, cooperation, and prosperity in a peaceful nation. That seems a faint hope at the moment, and it will not come soon, but it will come. The power of the frequency of light will heal the wounds in the end and unify the citizens in their common interest, love of family and country. All peoples should know that when a government sends troops into another country to, in quotes, secure the freedom of its citizens or build a nation, it is always for self-interest purposes. It is never without bloodshed and exploitation. And when the troops are withdrawn, the country is left in ruins. The ever-increasing frequency ensures that this will never happen again on Earth. Transition. The transition from the current system to the new one will be handled as smoothly as possible to minimize inconvenience and confusion. Money in checking and savings accounts at banks and credit unions will be safe because they are in physical institutions, so to speak. It is likely that these institutions will close briefly during the implementation of the new system. Arrangements will be made for workers' earnings paid into government retirement accounts to be safeguarded and payments made to authorized beneficiaries, and funds will be available for disability compensation and welfare provisions. There is likely to be a short delay in the processing of all such payments. Credit cards with usurious interest rates are another tool of the dark side, intended to motivate spending beyond one's means and create a population stressed by high debt. Cryptocurrency was also devised by the dark side and is under their control. With a few computer data entries, all forms of that currency can be eliminated. Don't rely on supposed guaranteed anonymity, in quotes, to save those accounts. Usurious purpose is to institute a fair, honorable world economic system and bring prosperity to everyone. It is not designed to give every individual on the planet a large sum of money, as some misinformation about this legislation includes. Respect for animals. Some people feel their bodies need meat, seafood and dairy products to maintain health, and others feel their bodies are healthier without those foods. But far beyond diet is how animals are treated. Animals in the food chain have a soul-level agreement with humanity to provide food in exchange for gratitude, respect and loving treatment during their lifetime, and to die with gentleness and dignity. Not only the so-called industrial agriculture egregiously violated the human part of that agreement throughout the ages, but other animals, domesticated and wild, have also been brutalized. It was the relentless inhumanity of people to each other and to animals that caused planet Earth to go from high fifth density to deep third density and be stuck there for millennia. Souls who incarnate as animals have a wide range of intelligence and emotions, and their families love each other as you love yours. When they experience trauma in the circumstances of life and death, that energy remains in their body and psyche, and when they enter nirvana, they require and receive the same personalized healing that traumatized people need and receive. As an integral part of the Creator's unconditional love energy, each life in its animal and plant kingdoms is a soul with varying degrees and consciousness. At the species level, cetaceans are the most conscious and spiritually evolved souls on Earth. They volunteer to incarnate there in large forms to anchor in the depths of the ocean the light emitted by distant civilizations. And think of the plant kingdom. Each seed knows when to start growing and what to become: grass, tree, flower, fruit, grain or vegetable, and each adds immeasurable quality to your life and that of every other soul there. Your steadfastness in your mission has been invaluable in helping the peoples of Earth see the light so that they can manifest the world they desire. Where life is peaceful, harmonious and loving, all beings of light in this universe honor and support you with the power of unconditional love and peace. War for ascension. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Close quotes. According to James Gilliland, to be enlightened is to be in knowledge of everything, both sides of the coin, the goals of the agenda and the modus operandi of light and darkness. The light side is about empowerment, service to the others, operating under universal law, which in its simplest form is universal peace, brotherly love, individual freedom and prosperity for all. Those aligned with the dark side are agenda and profit-driven. Those who work for the light are motivated by heart and service. It doesn't matter what culture, religion, gender or belief. There are legions of multidimensional beings operating under universal law in service to humanity and Earth, as well as the Creator in all of creation. Many of these beings are spiritually and technologically advanced off-worlders, as well as those who ascended from Earth known as ascended masters, angelic guides, etc. The white hats are those human beings within political, religious and commercial institutions and agencies who remember and fulfill their oaths. The lines are being drawn, decisions are being made, and those decisions will have consequences that will determine everyone's future. The dark side. Just as there is a light side, there is also a dark side. There are those regressive beings who are technologically advanced but spiritually backward, self-serving, often referred to as, among others, the Greys and Reptilians, the so-called Grey Alliance. There are masters of darkness, demons, disfigured and malevolent people trapped in the astral of fourth-dimensional levels, which some call the lower fourth density. Most are there because of extreme attachment, confusion, or a history of non-compliance with universal law. They are agenda-driven and profit-driven, regardless of the consequences to you, your families, and the earth. They have financed both sides of every war since Napoleon. They count on the ignorance and denial of the masses, as well as the lack of impeccable integrity and endless excuses for not doing the right thing. The dark side groups work with these low-frequency energies to influence and gain power over others and wealth, regardless of any negative impact on how it affects humankind and the earth. Unfortunately, these people assume authority beyond what is given to them and gravitate into positions of power and influence. From these positions, they prey on the ignorant and less fortunate. There are those who feed on repression, pain and suffering, without which their will would no longer exist. There are forces and motives behind slavery, pain, suffering throughout history, and not just Earth's history. It is a war between God and evil, and it is multidimensional. The human frequency is off the scale, with one massive influx of energy after another. Coronal mass ejections or solar flares are also increasing. This is getting exponentially stronger. Our solar system is going through a high energy position in space, and the electromagnetic-like spectrum is increasing with the addition of more bands. There is also a massive influx of consciousness and energy due to higher dimensional beings adding their consciousness and energy to the collective consciousness and energy of Earth. The Creator has given its best for these times. The only thing that the dark hats didn't take into account was the activation of the soul and the awakening of the masses, the divine intervention, and another plan whose origin is above, beyond your perception. The ascension is here, the great awakening, the spiritual revolution, no matter what you call it. It is time to find the impeccable integrity within. Honor your oaths, follow your heart, and be of service to the Creator within all creation, humankind and Earth. We are on the winning side. We are eternal souls, and it is better to die free in integrity in the service of the Creator and all creation than to be slaves of darkness. What you do now will not only determine your future in this life, but it will also determine where we'll go in the hereafter and the future of generations to come. Last phrase in quotes. The earth is not dying, it is being killed, and those who are killing it have names, last names and addresses. Sign it, Utah Phillips. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.